Good day, guys. Welcome to this real world flight. Let's go inside because it's too loud outside with rain. Okay. All right. We going with the real world flight today. You can watch. This is American Airlines 1300 and scheduled depart in 40 minutes with upcoming sounds from Blue Sky Star simulations. Today you can watch the previous two videos explaining the systems as far as immersion of the sounds and just the quantity and quality of the sounds implied in here. Implemented in here. So today is just a regular flight, just to enjoy, feel the atmosphere, and I will be not only from the cockpit seat, I will be going in like cabin and stuff like that. Just do a regular flight. How do you guys hear me? Everything is good? I'm gonna go ahead start this baby up, get power up procedure. We currently have the door open here. That's in zero, but yeah. Actually, I believe I can turn off this in zero. The windshield effects and get the original. Yeah. Okay, we're in Chicago, O'Hare, and we're going to Atlanta. All right, so I'm gonna go power up. Alright, gear lever down, flaps up, master is off, windshield wiper is off. System doing the power up test, the AEVC system. So the avionics fan going back and forth, like the blower and extractor going back and forth, starting and stopping. Pretty much all the systems doing self-tests. I'm gonna power up these. And you can hear it like the on sound. So the sounds, all of the sounds are new here, and as much as like twice of systems more than original. Not original, but last Blue Sky Star A320 flat factor pack. So that Pro has like twice as more features, and it's just as real as it gets. I mean, there's no, if you don't hear a PTU in cockpit, that means you won't hear it. If it's loud wind, you're gonna hear the loud wind. But like the features I'm here, I mean, you can watch the last two videos. I can't really start explaining again because it's gonna drag forever, and you can already see like the whole thing is just doing its thing. I mean, it's closed circuit right now for the ventilation, so that's why the sound changed, because it's cold outside, and it's gonna be cycling, I mean, throughout the ground operations, basically just the way it's supposed to be. So if we would have, I mean, I already did a lot on the ventilation system, but just to to point some things again. You see I'm turning on the extractor. Right away it's less noisy in cockpit. If I'm gonna turn off the blower, nothing's gonna happen except that the outlet is gonna open up. It's gonna briefly shut down and then restart, because in this configuration both fans are operating, the extractor and blower. But if we would turn on override extractor off, that's gonna turn off just the blower. So either way, if you want to make it less noisy in the cockpit and the temperature outside permit, you can do override either or. They do permit for now, so I'm gonna go ahead and override just extractor. Things of that nature. If we would have, like, for example, give the thrust, they would automatically close and sound would change, but they're already closed, so nothing happens. I mean, I'm not gonna go through it. You can watch the 2 videos already. Oh yeah, we're gonna see it all today. Let me go and prepare the flight, get the sim brief going, and then we'll go ahead and start off. Let's see. Parking brake is set. And check out the calls. Are they working? Windshield wipers are working as well. All right. Check the annunciator lights. All right. So it's breathing, like you can see. The whole thing is breathing, it's doing its thing like it's supposed to be. It's not just single avionics sound that is there. Let me tell you, just for ventilation system, just for ventilation alone, only inside there's probably like around 20 or 25 samples just alone for that, for different configurations of the ventilation system. Inside a cockpit, I mean. The outside, the ventilation system A, B, C is another 20. And you will hear them all. Alright, it's pretty cold outside, so I'm gonna go ahead and start APU. So out here, it's pretty quiet. And you can hear the door is opening. The inlet door. Yeah, and equipment, after equipment. 2 clicks and starting of the APU. And here as well, you can hear it. We're gonna wait for it to stable and 1 minute run the APU until we give the packs on. Alright, our flight that we find is scheduled to depart in 30 minutes. American Airlines 1300. Atlanta. We are and you will see how when we arrive in Atlanta how differently the AVC will sound since it's warmer in there. Okay, I'm trying to find out. $20. Alright, we're gonna have 100. Let's see. I'll have 150 people on board, souls on board. And our cruise level will be 340. I'm sorry, this is not gonna be flight 1300. The flight hour messed up. Anyways, well, let it be. That's fine. So flight level will be 330. It showed me the returning flight instead for some reason. Alright, let's go ahead and put the pack on. Привет. Yeah, let's do it both packs on. I think I'm gonna go back to explain just for 3 seconds. Yeah. It's worth it for this plane. Alright. Let's get it here. Block 10,500. Okay, our zero fuel weight is 76.2. Huh. It's not correct in here. It does not match with the oh, it does not match with the sim brief, so that's okay. They have a different layout of seats than portrayed in here. I truly don't know if there's still like a 136 seat aircraft still available in the world. I don't know where they got that from, but it's really low density. I mean, with airlines right now, they would use all that space available. There's not a possible thing that 136 passengers exists anywhere now. So that's why I'm gonna make the cargo for the missing seats. Okay, we're gonna use cost index 35. 30. Our BNA. Okay. Alternate fuel 2.5. Route reserve 0.8. And final 2.0. Okay. Current air conditions. Variable at 5, 10 miles, rain broke at 050, overcast 07, 03, 003. 2 left. Karen Sybil. Pocket City. BNA. That's not correct, BNA. I'm gonna wait until it aligns in 4 minutes. He doesn't know where we're at, so. Well, we can go by 1410. That's that one. Okay. New, I have. Matthew. On your left. Chopper. Shopping. Our arrival not here. Oh my god, this freaking nav data is outdated, but this arrival been there for a while. I mean, how come it's not here? Oh, it's direct for some reason. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna choose a different flight plan. I wonder how in the heck not a single star in here. This is bullshit. Should have knew better to update the nav data. None of the stars match. I wonder what the hell is. Does it still think that none of these stars are here? Oh god. Does it still think we are in Richmond or something? Oh god, this must be old as hell. Oh, one. Oh, this is, oh my god, this nav data is like 20 years ago. Gosh. I'm not gonna reload the plane, I'm just gonna whatever. Fucking A. How they still, when they update that plane, how they still they provide like 20-year-old nav data? I mean, flight factor. If you update the plane at least like a year old, you can just buy that nav data and provide it the old one. Not the current, but not 20 years ago. Dude. Everything's fucked. That's my fault. I mean, I didn't update the nav data, but come on. That's crazy. I mean, not a single star exists from 20 years back in here. Yep. Some fixes don't even exist. Yep. That's crazy. There you go. Just guessed it. Going back in the time. Okay. 2.0 08 and 2.5. Okay. All right, let's do the performance calculation. We're gonna do flex takeoff. Let me just calculate real fast. All right, so gross weight is 69.8. CG to 6.5. Flap 1 plus F. Anti-ice off. Air conditioning will be doing off for takeoff. Runway. Yeah. The freaking Navigraph does not work either. What's going on today? What the hell is going on today? Finally. Okay. So it's 8,075 feet. Runway heading 220. Condition wet. Airport elevation 700. QNH. Ooh. 3003. Temperature 6. Variable at 2. Okay, no flexes, toga. Let's try the flap 2. Still toga. Okay. 31, 40, 44 with flap 2. Thirty-one, 40, 44. That's gonna be a static takeoff. All right. I use for this plane. I use the free. Free calculator, but I mean it's pretty exact, if you ask me. Only thing that's not correct in there is the lack of like the margin. It doesn't show you the margin, the runway available, runway needed for abort. So it's really important in real life. I mean, it does not show you. Alright, let's do the check. Cockpit prep completed. Gear pins and cars removed. Signs on auto. ADR snap. Fuel quantity. So what's going on here? 10-460. Tail data sets. 131, 140, 144. 2200 03 to up 04. Above the line complete. FCU 303 KNH FD ARC 10 constrained speed dash heading vertical speed 5000 push vertical speed constraint ARC 10 3003 KNH FD on. Instruments climb nav blue, 1 FD2, 5000 blue, 680, 144, 131 blue, 0 ground speed, heading 184. Right side is the same. Alright, so the rain is over. I'm not gonna turn on the passenger sounds, because they're still work in progress. But instead of passengers, I will be speaking today. Okay. Alright, the briefing. We're located in L Gates, taxi via Echo Echo, November, all the way down to 22 left. No hot spots during taxi. Grounding condition is wet. 8,075 feet all available. We're taking off with flap 2 configuration. Up 04314044. The left seat takeoff. Static takeoff. Climb to 5,000 initial. Initial fix is CMS key. It's 1 hour 29 minutes of flight at level 330. All right. Enjoy, guys. Oh god, the better pushback just fucked it. Thanks God. It was lagging, I thought it was gonna crash it. Alright, we're gonna push here.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Let me make it a bit more quiet. Okay.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
The pumps are working.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Hatches. All green. Before below line. Windows and doors closed. Beacon on. Thrusters out of parking brake.
Connected and bypass inserted. Release parking brake.
As all.
Starting pushback, and you may start engine.
Guys, good on the volume. Everything with the voice and volume of the plane. Alright, let's start out number 2. Oh yeah.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Standby.
Number 1.
Tow is disconnected and bypassed.
Ah, get out.
Hand signal will be on the right. We'll
Get out already.
And have a great flight.
He just likes to talk and talk. Goodbye, goodbye, disconnected and all. Привет. Except the PTU sound? Are you serious? The PTU has been worked like magic. I mean, the PTU here works like it's supposed to be, with different modes, with fast, with slow, with fast transfer, with test, all correctly, not just out of the blue. If you mean it sounds like the before, oh well, the PTU does sound like that, so it was recorded off the real plane, you know? Or what you want me to find a different sample or record a different sample just so it does not match? I mean, they all sound different. I mean, PTU is PTU, you know? Alright, so just to close the PTU thing. PTU was recorded from the real plane. PTU does sound like that. I have clean samples of PTU. I'm not gonna go and find another recording just because you know, it's there. And it's a clean sample, so who cares? Yeah, and also one thing, if you guys find that it does sound similar to the previous version, that's because the previous version has been done really nice too. So the plane just sounds like that. I mean, I cannot invent the Airbus somehow and just do a different sound. Sounds are the way they are in a real thing. So. Well, it will be the same because, like I said, I recorded the clean sample out of the real A320. All PTUs sound the same, more or less. So I don't see any problem with that. The engine sounds similar too, because guess what? It's a A320. Alright, I'll tell you, the only thing that's different, the Pro version, is just, it's much more stuff done. It's like twice as more stuff done. On the sound wise, it will sound just like any other A320 and any other my sound pack, you know? Recent, I mean. They all sound the same. I'm not gonna go reinvent the sound, you know? So and another thing that what's here is that the volumes, this is not like a simmer version where you'll hear like the clean engine and stuff like that, like the PTU in the cockpit, like the quiet wind. You'll hear it as it is. As it is in the real world. So it's not simmer friendly. That's what I would say. As for the people who want to fly like it is in the real world. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 for takeoff, cabin crew seats for departure. After start checklist, NTI is now recording and status check, pitch crew set, radar trim, 0. And also, you can check it. And check the full travel on the flight control. I gotta... still be able to see it. Man. Well, up, down, neutral. Left, right, neutral. Okay. To the line, flight controls check, instruments check, briefing confirmed, setting, left, conf 2, V1, VR, V2, 30, 40, 44, ATC, set, econ memo, takeoff no blue, cabin crew advised, engine mode select, normal packs coming off. Alright, now enjoy the takeoff. And you see, I put off the packs. Does not change any much in cockpit, just like it is in the real world. In cabin, yeah, you'll hear it in cabin for sure. It's much more quiet. Here, I'll do the this so you can guys hear. This is with the packs. I mean, you can hear it in the cockpit too, a little bit, just tiny bit. It's more like you feel it more than you hear it. In cabin, yeah, works. In here. Now, also the packs, they will do quiet or more louder depending on the setting, depending on how much they have to work of the flow. But here, see? Alright. Cabin announcements will be, but not in this stream. Hello. People, cabin announcements all will be there, but they're not on this stream though. There's gonna be one more final video, just kind of like on the same day of release. Alright, I'm gonna do static takeoff. So you guys feel it really good. A few things is gonna happen. Few things will happen. Just listen. Well, with the whine, I'm not sure if you'll hear the whine here because we're gonna be a toga. But at toga, the thrust is slightly quieter than at like 86, 87, 88. 85 and 1. So if you're doing like 90-99, it's less quiet. You'll hear more saw, but then after you take off, you'll kind of get used to it because whine, it does about from 80 to like 86 on the ground, and then when you lift off and your angle of attack changes for the engines, the whine kind of disappears. You'll hear it here as well. Let's go. Cross set, SRS runway, cross blue, speed a lot. 100. V1. Rotate. That did not change a bit for the climb. That's just all, I mean, flight factor. I've been telling them for a while to change it, but anyway. Now you see how bassy it is now? Since we're off the ground, the whole vibration goes just strictly to the plane without grounding to tarmac. So now it's bassy. It's just a thing of physics. And also one thing that you can notice when you take off, there's that power thrust that you give. A lot of thrust goes in, kind of around the fuselage and hitting the inner doors of like the gear doors and stuff like that. Once it closes, when you're off the ground, it kind of disappears. Getting off the clouds. Too many people have unrealistic expectations and want sounds to be exactly how they want it, but they forget that in real life the sound's usually very different from how they think it should be. Yep, exactly. This is why all the Pro sound line, like the Pro line, it's gonna be strictly how it is in the real world. So if that means that you will not be able to hear the sound, you will not be able to hear it. So the engines right now, the thrust changes. It dies out and changes a bit. Turn off the lights and a lot of turbulence disappear from here now. Well, since we're at high thrust, we will not be able to hear it, but and it gets pretty noisy in the cockpit. Now, in here, all these sliders don't mean anything. So if you're like, oh well, the wind is too high, I'm gonna go ahead and change it. If you bring it down, it's gonna bring down a lot of other sounds. So it's gonna be totally unrealistic. So none of these sliders are to be changed. That's the thing about the Pro version. Either you accept how the real plane sounds, or you use the different version. Sounds amazing, thank you. You see how when we get through at these speeds, around the altitudes of where the air is dense, at lower altitudes and high speeds, you'll experience a lot of noise in the cockpit, as well as here. But once we're gonna get to less dense environment, less dense air, it's gonna be much more quiet. So put it like that. At takeoff, in A320 in cockpit, it's around 70 decibels. 70 decibels, the sound level. 75, I mean, I'm sorry. At the ground with engines idle, it's around 65. With all the avionics and everything. At flight level, it's slightly less because it's roughly at around 70, 72-ish an A320. It's a loud plane. And even though it might seem that it's loud, but check this out. You can still hear their stuff, right? Oh yeah. Will it also come to Tollis? Eventually. But for it to come to Tollis, let's see. Tollis has to have all these data refs that represent, because this plane, it has so many systems. I mean, I'm scared to pull the data ref tool just so we don't experience crash to desktop, just in case. But remind me when we arrive, I'll show you. It has a whole bunch of stuff that you won't even notice, like valves that you don't see, the voltages, the currents, the all that stuff works as real world. And you can tie the sounds to it. I mean, like even the current, it changes with the load. So in electrical wise, I mean the Blue Sky Star, you'll hear like the modulation of the static load sound. And you can watch all the videos before. You know, all the systems are in depth. So in Tollis, I don't know. In Tollis, I don't know if they model stuff like that. If there are data refs there that I can hang into, I will make a pro sound. Of course, I mean, I will produce a pro line for Tollis eventually, but that's gonna require a lot of, you know, it's time consuming, guys. So at some point, yeah. Чувак, стрим на английском, но неужели ты не понимаешь, что я делаю рекламич? So all the sounds But eventually I want the line of the products that will be simple Pro line, that will be separate from the other ones, and they will pretty much produce the sound packs that are making plane sound like it is in the real world. So if we would make like MD-80, right, with a Pro line, you will not be able to hear it, nothing in the cockpit, like engine-wise, nothing. Just nothing except wind and avionics, just like it is in the real world. But you would be able to hear when you come back, you know. So stuff like Pro line, some simmers might not like it because they're used to flying like from here, and they think that the whole plane, even in cockpit, supposed to sound like from here, you know. But it's not a real case. The LEAP, yeah, I mean, there's way too much stuff to still do, as well as I'm trying to release some of the pre-par stuff. Since pre-par is going away, I might as well release what I have, such as you know, because some people still working at pre-par, you know. Never mind Microsoft, they're still flying in pre-par. So I have 777, I have 737 and you know, PMDG. I have the FS Labs that needs to be updated to the release version, is still in beta. So a lot of that stuff. So I'll release all of that stuff for pre-par. And meanwhile, there will be something. And as for planning for 340 sound pack, not at this moment. But I'm pretty sure it needs to be done, since a lot of people fly it, I guess. Guys, I'm working alone. I have nobody to help me, so my schedule looks like 10 hours a day. I'm coding the sounds. 10 hours every day. I'm only sleeping. I even lost all my girlfriends this way. Oh. Now, one more recommendation, guys. If you are to be using the sounds, especially Pro versions, I specifically created version suitable for headphones and for speaker monitors professionally, or just any kind of speakers. So it will sound good in headphones and in speakers. So, but it's always, no matter how good are your headphones, it's always will be better in speakers. It's just the way it is. You can ask any musician, you can ask any sound engineer. The headphones, they do distort sound. I mean, your brain, even the perception of the sound is different. So if you want to feel the ultimate reality, I suggest you use monitors, which is speakers. But if you have to use the headphones, just remember this here. Doing display capture. Okay, remember this. When you're using the headphones, set everything to 50%, like this. So when you have explain, this is the 50%, that's what you want to use it. As well as the speakers. And then the set your monitor as to your liking, but don't overdo it to like 100. You're gonna have a lot of distortion sound. So in headphones, when you fly, you might seem that it's like ultra loud, or some sounds. I mean, you can check yourself. You can do one leg in headphones and one leg in speakers, and you'll see that speakers are so much better. FT Sim? Who's the FT Sim? I never heard of them. Ah, okay, now I know. I looked at the website. Those are the guys that just sound pack for everything and fast. Okay, I'm not a fan of their work, and I'm not saying that because they're doing the same thing that as I do. It's just I'm not a fan. You guys know. I'm pretty sure you guys know that. Doesn't matter who makes what. When Blue Sky Star releases a sound pack, I mean, it's gonna be the ultimate thing. Snowy in here. And I could have even do so much more stuff. I wish I could. You know, for example, but we have to talk to Flight Factor about this. So the thing to make it implemented so the vents are to be able to close, right? So the vents, the loudness in cockpit of the vent is depends a lot of how vents are operated, if they're closed or they half open. So sometimes it could be really loud, sometimes it could be less loud. So the pilots who fly this thing, they know to open the vents so the air does not hit the closed vent and it's creating loud sound. There's a vent right here. But usually shit tons of sound comes out of this one. So one more thing, as I did the Pro version, okay? So there is a data. I also measured myself, and there's data available online on what sound levels and decibels are there in the plane, in each portion of the plane, in each portion of the flight. So I implemented that as well. It does not mean that's going to be real decibels. so you get damage of your hearing, but the proportions is exactly the same. So if it's gonna be 60 decibels, I'd use like 6, for example. You know, just as an example. But it's up to you. You can make a 60 decibels if you have nice speakers. So everything here is proportioned. From the switches to all the systems, it's all proportionally done. It all has their own correct location. And we are at cruise right now. You see how quiet it's got? At the flight level, much more less noise. So things are here. There's noise. Somebody's speaking. Oh, this is ATIS for some reason. So yeah, okay. I'll show you some more, but I'll tell you about a little bit about sounds more. Okay, so the wind turbulence. What exists? There is a wind turbulence from empennage because there are wings in there, you know. So it creates a source of wing turbulence sound here in the back. So it's slightly more noisy here. And the quietest spot is about here. Then you got a bunch of turbulent noises like the wind, you know, the wind sound from the wings and the cowling, the engines. All that stuff is hitting the air, so it creates the turbulence around it. So that's the air, as well as the engine itself produces the noise. And there's a bunch of equipment down below here, so it's like fuel pumps, you know, hydraulic pumps. So it's kind of noisy. Like the most noisy spot in the plane is probably this. And the cockpit. I mean, this and the cockpit. Like right here, if you're sitting by the exit row, you'll be like amazed how loud it. I mean, it's pretty loud. At times, you know. At takeoff, it's like more quiet spot. Of course, at takeoff, this is the loudest spot by the engine, like the front, because the waves go kind of the trajectory of like 90 degrees here, so the saw and everything will be like the best here, and here it's going to be less saw because the part of the engine is covering. So, and of course here is all the E&E bay and part of the AAVC, and a lot of fans, a lot of recirculation fans down below here. So it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud here, as well as the lavatory fans. And here, of course, a bunch of fans. The packs are here. Everything is here. And of course, the wind from the you know, the nose of the plane. And okay, more of the things that make noise as far as wind here. I'll tell you. Oh shit. Okay. So for the wind, I created the graph, and there's a specific, you know, turbulence wind sound for each phase of the flight, and it's like a rocket science. I mean, it's just not couple sound samples that do this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of has to do in effect. For example, your flight controls, your surfaces, aileron surfaces, for example. If you were to turn and make a hard right or hard left, you'll hear turbulence sound from these panels moving up. Stuff like that. There's a general turbulence on, like the sound, like the wind turbulence on the whole frame. From the wind flow. Of course, there's a sound for the extending lights. I don't know if you guys hear it, but it got a little bit louder here. It's pretty noisy in there, so you'll hear it on the descent usually. Everything that produces the turbulence, as far as wind turbulence, it's here. The gear turbulence. Okay, now for the gear door. The gear door closing opening produces a lot of wind turbulence, and on takeoff, all that thrust while you're on the ground is going inside of the open gear doors. It's shaking the turbulence, not shaking, but creating vibrations, the wind vibrations inside it. So that's why when you take off, you kind of feel the whole body of the plane being like turbulent, you know, and then it disappears since you're clearing the ground. The faster you go, the less you hear it. Of course, the flaps, the spoilers, everything. Extended. Hey. Okay. Hey, down. All right. So that stuff. The flaps. Okay. Each portion of the flap, like the faster you go, the more turbulence it is. So that's the wind portion. Now, I'm still gonna make in progress of making the turbulent sounds of panels shaking and stuff like that. That's yet to come. The reverse here is correct. reverses have the turbulence as well. When you're on the ground and you're fast, these things are open up, creating turbulence, as well as the old air rushing in. And like the turbulent air from the engines when you hit the reversers, it starts about at 36 and 1, and then continues all the way to like the max reverse gradually. So if you're using idle reverse, you will not be able to hear any reverse sounds, except like the engine is kind of going on a higher thrust. The mechanical sounds of the doors for the engine reverser doors are as well exist on the outside. You can hear them open and close and thump. They kind of produce like a thump, bump, you know. As well as the gear door sounds. The mechanical, you know, if you've seen like any videos of the gear swing. It's called gear swing when here, I'll show you some of these. For some reason I can't capture the display. Okay. I'll make it quiet just for now. So yeah, the gear door swing, like that produces the sound of the panels closing. Can't hear because of a lot of hydraulics in this video, but they're pretty loud. I mean, that's why you hear like the thump when you're okay. So that of course all the mechanical stuff that I've been already saying in the previous videos, you can check out the videos before number 1, part 1 and part 2. So all like the mechanical stuff, even the like the landing lights extensions and mechanical, you can hear the extending. All the valves that are open and closed, everything. Now, let's get into the portion of the ground. So, like I said, you got the gear wind. When the gear doors are open, you'll hear a lot of turbulence going inside of that gear bay. You got the roll sounds of the, just kind of like the rolling of the of the gear, it will sound something like... No, that's the term. Okay, it will sound something like this. When the gear starts going fast, it's becoming to vibrate. And then, like the transit, when it lifts up, when it rotates, like the gear rotates, producing a lot of turbulence. Not turbulence, but like a lot of noise. Of course, the center line sounds, depending on if you're in the center. The rubber vibration of the gear, all that stuff. The liftoff vibration. Stuff like that. I like the bumps, you know, but all these bumps, the roll sounds, like the cabin, cockpit, roll sounds are both different. Kind of bassy. But the thing is about shaking here. The way I implement it in this sound pack, that you will never hear the same picture, okay? So I implemented them to sound as much random and based on your performance. So based on your input, based on some data of takeoff, the noise, like the panel shaking, the bumps, they will always sound different. So, but if you're like heavy on the rudders, it will sound different as well. The touchdown sounds, depending how hard you touch down. The shaking, of course, like even when your flaps are extended, for example, only on the ground when flaps are extended. When the plane is bumpy, like when your wings are rocking, you'll be able to hear the vibration from the flaps. They kind of producing sound like this. Those are the flap turbulent sounds. Now, of course, like the you know, the opening of the doors, like the lock sound, the unlocking of each door, right, left, nose, that's inside, and the outside there's a different sound. So if you were to look from the outside how it sounds, unfortunately you can't swing the doors in the sim. Okay. The brake release motor, like the brake motor. This is what you hear when you are in the mid portion of the plane. When you're taxiing, you probably hear this sound. This is just like a brake motor activating, and once you press the pedals and you depress them, you'll hear the release of the application of the brakes, kind of like bumps, you know, stuff like that. the different nose landing, the gear touch, all different depending on how hard you put it down. Like the cabin gear extension. I mean, there's to this date it's 1,500 sound samples. You imagine? I cannot go through all of them. I'm just kind of looking and seeing what I can go through. Just imagine 1,500 samples just to this day, and it's gonna be slightly more. Like I said, the Pro line will get updates. I mean, the regular sound pack will get updates only suitable for like the compatibility updates. You know, if Flight Vector release something that will stop working, there will be a slight update, right? For the main. For the Pro, this will be always getting updated as far as this. I mean, to this day, I pretty much put everything I could in there. So the only updates could be there is just maybe some more cleaner samples somewhere. Even though they're all clean, but I don't know, maybe. I seriously don't even know what's updating. I think this is the best version I've done in my life. So perhaps maybe like people talking sounds, toilet flushing is already existing. I don't know what's there. I don't know what's there to put. Everything. I mean, unless the Flight Vector does something more into this plane, so it can make the sound. For example, like the vents on the plane, or for the seat to move. Moving right now, but I implemented a little bit. When you open the table, you hear you're moving your seat. Here on the ground. It looks like they promised to do a correct paydeck for the engines. Guys, if they will produce a correct paydeck, the engine will sound so much better you don't even imagine. I try to tell them every time. Looks like they issued a note for the next update, so because paydeck, like the engine thrust, is not linear. It's anything but linear. So until like 36, 35-ish, 36 N1, it's really moving slow. The N1. When you throw throttles to idle, at some point it's slowing down really slow, and after 50 moving fast, you know, stuff like that. Or even like the climb thrust from Toga and Flex, how it's supposed to be. So stuff like that. One of the things that I will implement in future updates for Pro version is when you open the windows, you'll be able to hear the engine sounds of externally and the rest of the sounds that's there. Just the way if you would open the door. You know, and I already know that might be a problem for Mac users, as I've heard that Mac can only produce some number of streaming sounds at the same time, and there are plenty of streaming sounds here. I mean, you know, loop, kind of on the loop, like the wind, the engines, this, that. So there are plenty, and I think the Mac is up to like 36. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe that's the older version, I'm not sure. At some point, we will start transferring to Fmod. And guys, I do want to issue sound pack for Zibo as well. I know that the original is not bad, but I want something more. Alright guys, I have to leave for 15 minutes. You'll be the pilot flying. I'll come back, we'll descend. Hear this beautiful thing on a descent. Be right back, and I'll be watching chat from my phone because I gotta go downstairs for a little bit. Sorry, it took a little bit longer than I expected when I was gone, and obviously I missed the top of descent, so we're gonna have to do a quick 180 and then 360 basically up to and in descent, because it's already we're already close to so let's do this. And descend down to 10,000. You guys enjoy that bassy engine sound. You can hear that bassy sound. The Enviro on 4K is just killing all my frames, I'm sorry. A high-speed descent of 290 knots or the open descent mode pretty much gives you the best descent rate on engine idle. Without going over speed. Get arrival data. For now. My GPU is to 100% right now. That's what Enviro does when you're using 4K. Only. also do the speed brakes. Okay. .24 distance. 10.30. Good. Hello, do you speak Russian? Yes, I do, but today's stream in English only. After that, after the portion for promotion for the sound pack, I will do a separate stream only in Russian language. На русском будет после этого стрим. Отдельный стрим. Это продажнич. Так, well, slowing down to 250. Okay, let me show you something. Remember I was saying how turbulent it gets when the panels go up, even when you're turning? Okay, here we go. Check this out. It won't let go. Okay, it has to be a slower speed because they won't go too much. But you hear it. Now it became more loud here because put out the put out the extended lights. Strange why it does not go to. There you go. Okay. Approach checklist briefing confirming the status check. Seatbelts on, barrel set, MTA set, engine mode selected normal. 9 left. 110.5095 MTA 1359. Now, on this type of approach, you need to slow down then go down, because if you will be trying to slow down while in glide slope, it's going to be bad. So before turning initial approach fix on right, slow down to flap 1 speed and throw the flap 1. That's kind of like a straight in approach. On this kind of approaches, you always need to slow down first. So after Navy, we'll slow down to like 220, 235. $230, I mean. Yeah, but cruise seats for like flap 1. How you do it step by step. Nice and easy. Speed management is energy management is all it is. approach mode. Lock capture. All star. Glide slope star. Looking good. Lap 2. You hear the turbulence from the flap?
$2,500.
Grade out. Tear down. Lap 3. Lap's full. Gonna fly itself.
$500. 100 above. 400.
I agree.
Minimum
Continue.
300. $200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 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 5.
There's the sound for the brakes here as well. If you sit behind there, you'll hear it. they kind of go whir at higher speeds. We're in Atlanta, boys. Write down in comments how you like the sound back. At least what you heard. Shut down. So guys, notice notice how when we were at cold environment in Illinois, how you can rewind later and see how our cockpit sounded, and notice these inlet and outlet are open and how different the cockpit sounded here now. electrical motor stumped down. Hello. Okay, here we are. I'm going to restart the sim because I need to update the system. Okay, I'm gonna end this portion of the stream so I can record the video for the promotion purposes. Now guys, if you want to hear some more sounds and just aviation in general, flying techniques, knowledges and good sounds, good picture, join me in about 5 minutes until the old stream shuts down. Thank you for watching, and the pack will be soon out, really soon. So again, I will see the rest of you in about 5 minutes.